Humans are naturally curious creatures, and the fact that we're able to question, to test, to experiment, and to theorize is what allows us to venture and learn more about the natural and physical world. A little bit about my background. I completed a degree in archaeology from La Trobe University in Australia, and then I proceeded to do some graduate studies looking at prehistoric exchange networks and prehistoric cultures in the Dead Sea Plain. I actually looked at how they had exotic materials in this one area in the Dead Sea Plain, which is naturally uninhabitable, and the nearest water source is actually the Dead Sea, which we all know you can't drink or you can't use to water your crops. So it was really interesting to see these exotic materials that came from thousands of miles away, in fact, and to see how and why this was going on 10,000 years ago. I think my ultimate goal in science and exploration and in my career as an archaeologist to contribute to science and to contribute to history, something that actually really helps people, and not only that, elevates our minds and consciousness. Now, this sounds like a really grandiose goal, but I really believe that in my pursuit for the sciences and in my pursuit for archaeology, there's so many ways that we can really see how we can change our future and actually guarantee for ourselves a better future just by looking at the past. Now, the past, and they say history repeats itself, and there's so much that can be said about that. I'm here with environmental scientist Thalya Parilla, and you're going to actually tell us all about urban agriculture and why this is something that people all over the world, but especially in metropolitan areas and high population areas, should think about urban agriculture. And why is that?
Well, first of all, you have to think of where your meal came from. Do you know where the lettuce came from? Do you know where the tomatoes came from? Do you know where the
beef came from? The store that I bought it at, the grocery store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where did the grocery store get it from? And you just
some
go
farmers, I guess.
Some farmers, yes. And these farmers, they could live as far away as Argentina.
Of things.
There's so many things that could go wrong.
Yes.
Where are you going to get your meal?
Right.
You have all these thousands of people living together in a small space.
I see. So it's about your food source and how you can be more self-sufficient.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can be more healthy as well.
Right. Tell us about the worm bin, which anybody could start with. It's in their house or in their office, in their garage.
Yeah, anywhere. You don't. Worms don't need that much space. Okay. Worms are just the best.
Yeah,
they're the best. You can use 2 containers that fit inside each other. Usually, like a small Tupperware.
Okay.
On the top one, you have holes drilled in the bottom, so all the moisture can
air circulation,
right. And also along the top because they need to breathe.
Okay.
So every once in a while, you throw in some food scraps, you move it over, then move them back over, and the worms do all the work.
So basically, your food scraps are being turned into good, healthy soil.
Good, healthy soil. Yes, and you can use all of that wonderful compost to grow more veggies and more delicious things that you can share with your neighbors and with your friends and have the best dinners.
That's awesome. Another question was, what topics do I think are important to cover? Today, I think it's really important to cover a lot about energy and power systems. I think this is something that's very important to people wherever they live in the world and whoever they may be. Everybody is dependent on energy and power. This is what we need to live, to thrive, and to pretty much have a healthy life. And more, we really need to move away from some of these old systems and into the new systems, particularly in some subjects of science that are really making some breakthroughs in it, I think, are physics, electromagnetics, and sound frequency. And I could go into that a little bit more, but basically those are some topics of interest of mine that I have right now, scientifically speaking. Okay, well, basically, why do I want to do this? Why would I want to be a host? I think that genuinely I have this curiosity and this sort of grounded appreciation for life and the world. I think the world's an amazing place, and I think that having a position such as being the host for a science show that looks into new discoveries, new breakthroughs, and at the same time explores perhaps uncharted waters and subjects that haven't been covered before. This is something that I would genuinely love to do because I have a passion for all these things. I have a passion for sharing the natural sciences with the world and also experiencing what it has to offer and what it has to tell us. And this is something that I would love to bring across if I were chosen to host this show.